Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. So I just got this in the mail. It showed up on the front porch, and usually Kershaw messages me and says, here's what's coming, right? Every now and then they surprise me. I'm okay with Kershaw surprising me because pretty much everything they've released over the last couple of years has been anywhere from good to amazing. I know a lot of you feel the same way and are generally excited about Kershaw releases, so I was more than happy to make a video. I just pulled it out of the bigger box, but just before the video was right when I looked to see that it said Launch 16, which is one of my favorite Kershaw knives of all time. I have already reviewed this knife, and you can check it out if you want to. So the reason that they sent this to me means that this is some type of new variation. That is very cool to me. I'm not always excited about new variations of knives, but a new variation of this is definitely something I'm interested in. So thank you so much to Kershaw for sending it to me. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. Spoiler alert for the review if you don't want to watch it. Separate video. It's a great knife. It's one of the best USA side opening automatic knives on the market, dollar for dollar. And it is also, in my opinion, the best of the Kershaw Launch series. Sorry, excuse my wife is coming home and is honking the horn in the garage. But it's definitely my favorite Launch series knife. So what could we possibly have here that is different? Oh, raw aluminum. Oh, cool. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. So they have man, look how good that looks. So nice. So I'm pretty sure they have black and OD green, and the initial version that they released was serrated. It was serrated in Tanto, and everybody's like, release a non-serrated version. And I unboxed that one as well. If you like serrations, that's fine. Some people prefer them. Some people consider them an absolute necessity. A lot of people buying knives in this territory, not everybody, but I would say the majority would prefer a plain edge. That might come as a shock to a lot of people. But a plain edge is, many people consider it to be an easier edge to maintain over time, while still being able to do essentially 99% of what serrations can do. You can think however you want about that. I'm just saying, like, if you're wondering why, that's the reason. I'm certain that that'll spark a serrations versus plain edge argument in the comments. That's fine. Feel free to go down there to take part in that. The other thing I'm noticing is that this has like a gray blade. So we have the Track Tech, we have the beautiful raw aluminum scales, we have the nice texturing right there. Let's take a look at the blade. Oh, straight edge, very nice. I feel like there was a part of me that thought, is it going to be a drop point? So what do we have for this steel? Still CPM M4, and still very much the reason that I consider this to be probably the best dollar for dollar USA side opening automatic knife. Every now and then I get somebody saying, you're forgetting about the this or the that, right? And either what they send to me are Chinese automatic knives, which is not, this isn't made in the USA, or they're knives that are made in China that people don't know are made in China and they think are made in the United States. When we're talking about actually USA made products, right? Dollar for dollar, CPM M4, raw aluminum, and the Track Tech, and being an automatic knife, that's kind of a stupidly good price, which I'm pretty sure it's $150 or $160. Yeah, this is extremely cool. I am a huge fan of this. I think M4 is actually a really great steel for this type of blade. M4 is going to be tough when we're comparing with other steels that have similar edge retention. So, for example, like a lot of people get mad at me when I say M4 is tough. And I realize, well, you have to elaborate or you're just inviting people to get angry. M390 has similar edge retention to M4, but M390 is not tough. M4 is much tougher than M390 and has almost the same level of edge retention. M4 is not stainless, though. That's one of the trade-offs for the composition, right? So coating M4 can help make up for some of that. Not all of it, right? It's not absolutely a better steel when it's coated, But it is still very, very good. And for people who don't really need the extra corrosion resistance, depending on where you live and where you work, M4 could be a superior option, right? Just depends. I like M4 a lot. That's what they use in that competition cutting stuff, which is, a lot of people say that that's kind of a ridiculous example of like what a blade can stand up against, because the issue is like, when are you using a blade for specifically that stuff? I don't know. I kind of like to see how blades perform in different types of like stressful situations, even if they are ridiculous, right? And it's really amazing how well like a proper, like those guys make those crazy M4 choppers. And if the ones that get it heat treated perfectly and the blade geometry is perfect, like they really are unbelievably stable at the edge and just continue to slice and chop. And it's just amazing. Obviously, you're not going to be using a knife like this, right? Man, that is powerful. The Launch, I think it's because this knife feels more powerful than the other knives in the Launch series. Number one, I bet they have a few different sizes of coil spring, depending on which. I would be really shocked if every Launch series knife had the exact same size of coil spring on the inside. Excuse me, I'm choking on breathing. A very evolved human being giving you this information. The Kershaw Launch series knives, I would be very surprised if the coil springs are all the same size. I would venture to guess you have at least 2 different sizes of coil springs, perhaps 3, depending on the model, because there's some that are much larger, much smaller. I bet this, if they have different sizes of coil springs, number one, I bet it has the largest size, and number two, because of the geometry, there's a lot of weight carried way out here in the blade. So some of what I'm feeling there, my point, some of what I'm feeling there is legitimately a pretty good sized coil spring. You can see there's quite a bit of recoil there, but also because it's throwing a pretty heavy blade. Not, like a Medford heavy blade, but for an automatic blade, that's a lot of steel. So it really feels powerful, that's what you want, right? You want, and not so much power that you're throwing it, but enough power that if you hold the button down, it's always going to throw that back out into the open position. This is recessed. If you're new and you're worried about automatic knives going off in your pocket, the reason that doesn't normally happen and you don't normally hear about that is because especially on modern switchblades, which this absolutely is, don't let anybody tell you otherwise, the button is recessed. So it would be extremely difficult and unlikely that it would go off in your pocket. Essentially, it's virtually impossible. I'll do specs on this real quick, just because I know there are some people who don't have that information, but I will link this in the description and you can check out all the different variations. A little over 8 1/4. It's almost like 8.3. Is that right? No, it's probably supposed to be 8 1/4. 3.5 inch cutting edge. It's 3.5 inches. Now it's a little over 3.5 inches on the blade, and definitely 3.5 inches on the cutting edge. Just a couple of size comparisons here. 8010, Rat 1, Spyderco Shaman. That's not how you say shaman. It's shaman. Doesn't he know it's shaman? Shut up. Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case the Ritter Hogue. And that's it. You guys get the idea. It's a cool knife. I like this variation. All that's left, I'm not saying that it absolutely has to happen, because I think the Tanto blade looks cool, but all that's left for them to do with this knife is make a variation that is a drop point blade. The Tanto is cool. Some people want a continuous edge to sharpen and not have to, set, like if they use like a guided system, they don't want to have to set it at 2 different angles. You could always, of course, teach yourself to, manually sharpen. But whatever, you can think whatever you want about that. This is pretty cool. I'll have it linked down in the description. Like I said, I've got a review of this knife already, so feel free to check that out. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.